First of all, I'd like to say hearty hello and blessings to my many YouTube subscribers, friends, and also to my many enemies. Once again, this is another episode of Roosevelt Sounds Off, and this is Roosevelt Sounds Off Part 40. Oh yeah, we're getting close to that 50 episode mark. I hope to plan on to get there by the end of this year, at least I'm hoping. Maybe even sooner, depends on what is happening. But, you know, I have been in a series for the last a long time or whatever now, Stupid Traditions. But I'm going to take a little bit of a break from that today, and I want to give my thoughts and my tribute to the greatest, reflecting on the life and mourning the passing of the great boxing legend Muhammad Ali, also known as Cassius Marcellus Clay. And as far as I'm concerned, that he was a greater legend outside of the ring almost than he was inside of the ring, because he was one person, even back in the 50s and the 60s, that did not compromise, that did not take down. Because even when they stripped him of his boxing title in 1967 and threatened to throw him in prison because he refused to be inducted into the draft to be drafted into the Vietnam War, he refused and cited his religious rights, because he is the main one who said, why should I, as a black person, as a black man, go over and fight the yellow man? And the Viet Congs in the Vietnam government has never done anything to me, but this country, which is the United States, has caused much more harm to me than anybody else from any other country has ever done. And he stood on that until he was cleared by the United States Supreme Court in 1970 or 71, I believe that it was, if my memory serves me correctly. And that's what I like about him, is that he took a stand, a just stand against a very evil, unjust war, which is the Vietnam War. Why should any one of us as black people go over and fight for any kind of country who has, I don't care whether it's in Vietnam, whether it's Iraq, whether it's Afghanistan, whether it's Iran, who's personally never done anything to us, but yet this country has done things to us every single day through bad racist government policies, through miseducation, through poverty, through hunger, through police brutality. Every single thing that this country has done to oppress and enslave blacks, but yet we're supposed to join armed forces to go over and fight for them, or fight for two politicians, two stupid idiots from two different countries that can't agree upon something. We're supposed to go and fight for them. No. And that's something that I will always love and respect about him. And I think even Muhammad Ali had even gained the respect of other people, even though you had some people then who did not like him for whatever reason. But in the end, whenever you stand upon a principle, he's the one who would teach you that when you stand upon a principle, even if people don't like you, at the end of the day, they still must respect you and must respect your stance. So that's what I love about him. And the fact that he joined the Nation of Islam in the 60s, and he was given that name, Muhammad Ali, by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when he was inducted into the Nation of Islam. But then later on, he ended up practicing the more spiritual path of Sunni Orthodox Islam. And I don't know, I think that was also a good thing, that he did stand beside on the side of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and later on he adopted the spiritual path of Orthodox Islam. And I think it's a very, very good thing, and it's a wonderful thing. He even helped to build a mosque here on the south side, and that's Elephante Mosque. I think that's around 47th and Kenwood. I think he's one of the main people who helped to build that mosque here in Chicago. And it's a wonderful thing to learn the spiritual path of black people's true historical religion. Because if you study history, if you really, really study history, and one day I'm going to do a whole teaching about this whole thing, black people's true historical religion was not Christianity or not the Baptist Church. No, it was Islam, because during the time of the slave trade, most of the slaves that were taken from North Africa at that time, and they were stripped of their Islamic names, stripped of their Islamic clothing, and made to take on Europeanized names and Europeanized clothing, and made to also take on the slave master's religion, which was Christianity. And that's how come most black people to this particular day are Baptist, pretty much. But Muhammad Ali, I guess, did not want to fit into that same role of practicing the same religion as the slave master. So he chose to do something different. And his story, and I believe when I was a kid, in the 8th grade, especially coming up in the high school, I think many of you have heard me talk about this and everything before, that I had become very, like to this day somewhat, I still am, very disillusioned about the Baptist Church, especially, you know, the Baptist Church I was coming up in then, because of like so many problems, just like with people and, you know, things and struggles that I was having in the church, and plus things that I even saw my parents go through, stuff that people who called themselves Christians and lovers of Jesus and worshipers of the Almighty God, I saw due to my parents. So I thought that, I got to thinking one day, I got this revelation and got to thinking that there must be something better, must be a better way. And listening to his story, you know, hearing things about Malcolm X and studying some sermons and some teachings of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and studying teachings of Imam Isa, who was the head over the Ansarut Allah Islamic community, that got me to start studying and have an urge to be a part of and study the much more spiritual path of Al-Islam and how it fits into, you know, blackness. And plus also too, I think a whole lot of the rap music and the hip hop then, it promoted that message, because this was a time of, I would have to say, black consciousness rising up, and a whole lot of times that we begin to learn ourselves. And I begin to learn a whole lot more about myself as a black person and things that we went through and things that we did. And looking at Muhammad Ali's story was just one thing to help encourage me. So now I think that it's someone who helped to encourage me, to help to make me the person that I am right now. So for those kind of reasons, his, you know, religious convictions, his, you know, activism, that's what made me say that I think that he was a bigger champ far outside the ring than he ever was in the ring, even though, you know, he did carry the crown of the heavyweight title for, you know, a long time, until like one day he was defeated. But his political activism, his religious beliefs, that's the biggest thing that I will always know and remember about the greatest, which is Muhammad Ali. So rest in peace, Muhammad Ali. And many of us out here who admire you and love you and look up to what you did, and we appreciate and love the things that you did, because you helped make us, and especially make me, be the person that I am right now. Thank everybody for listening, and remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and continue on to comment. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and hopefully I will see you the next time on the next one. Peace and blessings to all.